From Fred Vanfleet lighting up the NBA as an undrafted player to the Miami Heat reaching the NBA Finals with 7 undrafted players in their starting roster. These are the 15 greatest NBA players who went undrafted. And to kick things off, we have to talk about Austin Reeves. Because this skinny white boy helped the Lakers to reach the conference finals in 2023. As a senior in high school, Reeves averaged 32.5 points and 8.8 rebounds. In 2021, he declared the NBA draft but wasn't selected. But wait, why the hell would you not draft a player with these numbers? Well, in college, Austin had to face several injuries and his numbers decreased to 18.4 points and 5.5 rebounds per game. It's still good, but it wasn't enough to be called out on the draft night. In the end, he signed a 2-way contract with the Lakers and proved that he was more than just a bench warmer. This season, Reeves made his presence felt by having pop-off games with over 30 points and shooting almost 40% from deep. But most importantly, he didn't slow down in the playoffs. And while still remaining a role player, he is a crucial part in the Lakers roster. But another player who's absolutely crucial to his team is 𝘾𝙤𝙤𝙪. Undrafted players usually don't make much noise, but Martin almost stole Jimmy Butler's role as the star player of the Heat. He helped Miami to win over Boston in this year's playoff by shooting almost 50% from the three-point line. But what's even crazier is how he made it to the NBA. Martin is friends with J. Cole, and the rapper had a good relationship with the Heat assistant coach Caron Butler, so he told the team about Martin and they invited him to training. In the end, 𝘾𝙤𝙤𝙪 absolutely crushed it and not only became a Heat player, but also one of the best undrafted players in the NBA.
Shot clock at 4, the 3 by 𝘾𝙤𝙤𝙪. Goes Robert Williams picked up his second. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 screen from Martin and a long shot from 3. I love the heart of 𝘾𝙤𝙤𝙪.
Wait a second. Did you know that Jeremy Lin, Alex Caruso, and Seth Curry also went undrafted? Well, make sure to watch until the end. But now, let's start with Seth Curry. Most people know that Stephen Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, has a brother playing in the NBA. But only few people know that Steph Curry was never drafted. While Steph was selected 7th overall, no team chose Seth in the 2013 NBA draft. Finally, he landed a non-guaranteed contract with the Warriors. But after that, he got passed around like he was a Kardashian or something. From 2013 to 2015, he played for the Warriors, Grizzlies, Cavs, Magics, Suns, and Kings. But at least he solidified his spot in the NBA. And while he surely isn't as good as his brother, he surely is a decent player and deserved a spot on this list. But another guy who deserves a spot on the list of the best undrafted NBA players even more is Fred Vanfleet. In college, he never outshined other players with his scoring numbers, but scouts knew about his potential as a point guard. But unlike the other players on the list, Fred didn't even want to get drafted. Well, at least that's partly true. In the 2016 NBA draft, Vanfleet had 2 offers to be selected by the 2nd round, but he declined. In both cases, he would have found himself in the NBA Development League while earning $20,000 per year. But Fred knew that he was worth more than that. And boy was he right. He ended up signing with the Raptors, had a record-breaking 54-point game, helped the team to win the finals in 2019, and finally made millions of dollars instead of $20K a year. The gamble of Vanfleet was totally worth it. But do you know what else is totally worth it? Exactly. Subscribing to this channel. So help me out here to reach 1,000 subscribers, would you? But now we have to talk about Alex Caruso. Do you know who I mean? Yeah, the bald guy who shaved his head because his hairline was totally messed up. Caruso also went undrafted in the 26 NBA draft. So he played in the NBA Summer League, and after being waived by the 76ers and the OKC, the Lakers picked him up and gave him a chance. Ultimately, Alex proved to be of great value. He isn't a prolific scorer who easily drops 30 points a night, but a picture-perfect role player. Caruso convinces with assists, blocks, and defensive tenacity. He played a crucial role in the Lakers winning the 2020 NBA Finals. So I wonder why the Lakers tossed him away. But luckily, players like Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, or Jeremy Lin weren't tossed away even after going undrafted. Have you ever heard about 𝘾𝙤𝙤𝙪? If not, then it's about time. But first, we need to take a look at Duncan Robinson, because he holds a record for the largest contract signed by an undrafted player. In 2021, Robinson signed a $90 million 5-year contract with the Heat. And while he sometimes seems inconsistent by going from scorching hot to not hitting a single 3, it is clear why Miami needs him. He's a good shooter. On average, he hits 40% of his 3-point attempts. Finally, he's also one of the reasons why the Heat made the NBA Finals in 2023.
Before.
Robinson, boy, that sweet stroke. This hasn't been the same team. Robinson on another triple.
If you are still here, then you better keep watching because it's time for 𝘾𝙤𝙤𝙪. Jeremy Lin had a short but incredible peak in the NBA, but he had a hard time even making it to the league. In the 2010 NBA draft, no team selected him, so he had to fight his way through the Summer League and ended up on a small contract with the Warriors. There, he was treated like an undrafted player. But 1 year later, Lin finally saw his chance to shine. In 2011, he signed with the New York Knicks, and at that time, the stars 𝘾𝙤𝙤𝙑 𝙀𝐻𝑚𝐻𝑚𝑎 and 𝘼𝐻𝑚𝐻𝑚𝑎 𝘠𝑚𝑎 were sidelined due to injury, so the stage was all his. Lin was quite efficient with the ball in his hands and helped the Knicks to an unexpected win streak. When they faced Kobe and the Lakers, fans thought the streak was over, but they were wrong. 𝘖𝐿𝑖nsanity dropped 38 points on Kobe and got his team the win. Unfortunately, over the next years, 𝘖𝐿insanity came to an end, as teams didn't know how to use his potential and put him in backup roles. However, this short breakout period of Jeremy Lin showed that he belongs on the list of the best undrafted players. But let me tell you, there are more NBA players who belong here. We still haven't mentioned two older pies, Udonis Haslem and Ben Wallace. But before that, we need to cover Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. These two guys are also part of the current Heat roster. Seems like Miami really has a thing for undrafted players. Anyways, what makes them great players is not that they score 30 points every night, but that they can stick to their role and perform at their best when shit hits the fan. In the 2023 playoffs, the Celtics seemed to turn around a 3-0 lead against Miami, when Gabe Vincent decided to hit more than 50% from deep and send the Celtics home. It's their willingness to give everything to win which makes them, and the Miami Heat in general with their 7 active undrafted players, a great team.
Over the top to Butler, up and in! Jimmy Butler ties the game with a half second to go.
What a play call.
Moments ago by Gabe Vincent.
Oh, what a move.
Oh, wow. Robinson here, sheds White into Horford. Up high! Dropping the sledgehammer out of...
And for number 6, we have Udonis Haslem. And guess which team he is on? Exactly, the Miami Heat. Haslem has been a career glue guy for the Miami Heat, doing a lot for the unglorified dirty work of the team. Perhaps the biggest thing, though, was when he took less money to take on a smaller role to come off the bench and stay with the team that gave him a chance when he went undrafted. He is one of the unsung stories in the NBA and a part of the reason, beyond the big 3, why the Heat were and are contenders. Alright, we have reached our top 5, and if you think we already covered all good undrafted players, you're dead wrong, because our next one won the Defensive Player of the Year award 4 times. That's as many as Dikembe Mutombo, who was selected as 4th overall. Ben Wallace just shouldn't have gone undrafted at all. His 4 All-Star appearances are the most by any undrafted player in history. But most importantly, he is the first undrafted player in NBA history who was inducted in the Basketball Hall of Fame. That's what I call a come-up story. Now for our number 1 to 4, we have John Starks, Avery Johnson, Gary Payton II, and Jose Calderon. I decided to sum these guys up because they all share the same story. They weren't drafted in the NBA. Just because you're not selected at the draft night doesn't mean that you don't have talent. Of course, most undrafted players don't become stars, but rather role players. But in the end, that's exactly what teams need. Don't get me wrong, stars play a huge role in a team's success, but you can't just gather great scorers together and expect them to win a big championship. Just take a look at the Brooklyn Nets Big 3, the Lakers Big 3, or the OKC Big 3. They all failed miserably. Every team needs role players, and this is where undrafted are a good opportunity. Gary Payton II helped the Warriors to a championship, Avery Johnson assisted the Spurs for a ring, and Jose Calderon retired as the Raptors' all-time assist leader. Conclusively, undrafted players can leave their mark on the league without us even knowing. They usually don't make much noise, but their impact is undeniable. In best case scenarios, it ends up winning a team a championship, but sometimes a team ends up losing despite all efforts, or players get injured and never return to their greatness. If you want to know more about it, make sure to check out this video. These moments will definitely make you cry. What are you waiting for? I'll see you there.